Pickacard. What do they think of you now? Here are your options, and I'll see what you're reading.
Okay.
Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Tough Doll Tarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, what do they think about you now? Well, I definitely feel like these people are trying to take a page out of your book. Where did you learn this? How do you do this? How do you know so much? Who are you really? Did we ever really know you? So I feel like those are the questions that are processing through their minds. And if this sounds like you, or if this sounds vaguely or remotely intriguing, join me for your reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful or encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, I am ever so grateful. Thank you so very much for all your love, your support, your orders, your donations, even the cards that you donate. Thank you so much. Pile number 1, what do they realize about you right now? You have the 4 of Cups. Wow, that was reverse. Are these all reverse? We're going to find out. So we have the 4 of Cups, and it could have been that you were in a state of like, I don't care, I give 0 Fs, that kind of a thing. But I definitely feel like you're listening to your intuition and you are acting upon things now. So whereas maybe perhaps before they thought you did not care, I feel like you are in the, oh, I care very much. And with that caring, I'm going to act. And I'm looking at, I'm hearing the word Laurel. Like, is that a name? Laurel? Lauren? That could be as well. But laurel leaves, maybe that has something to do with that, and you can look that up. The number 111 on camera right now can be kind of a confirmation for you, but they definitely feel like whoever these people are, they see you as somebody who is not just going to take things sitting down. Excuse me. What else do we have? These are all 6 of Cups. Okay, so with the 6 of Cups, we have like a journey to the past, right? These are people that maybe you partook and you had great fond memories and things like that. And what they're realizing about you right now is that you're no longer reminiscing. You're no longer romanticizing the past. I don't feel like it was by accident that these were in the reversals at all. Maybe perhaps these were people like from your childhood, from your youth, or people that you went to uni or that you used to work with. It could even be people that lived on your street, right? Doesn't make a difference. I feel like, excuse me, the bottom line is that whatever secrets that you had, whatever you partook with, whatever memories that maybe they perhaps even glamorize at this point in time, you're no longer romanticizing. You're no longer like, oh, remember when? And maybe it was a situation where they thought higher of themselves and they should have. I don't know why that's coming up, but that's for somebody, right? I feel like they are realizing it's like no amount of emotion is going to put you in a place where you are just not going to care about your present and about your future. Now, the energy that I'm getting is quite fiery. It's like fighter. And I'm hearing Christina Aguilera, Fighter, that song. So I'm going to spare you the singing. You're welcome. But I definitely feel like you are the underdog. I feel like you came out maybe even like, I feel like born of mud or the underdog or the one that people least expected anything from. Or you were like the runt of the litter, and I really hate to put it that way, but I'm just going to say it's like maybe you were... Let me put it in my terms because I'm not trying to shade nobody. But like when I was growing up, I was super thin. Very, very skinny, and they used to make fun of me for it. And they would call me names. You know how school kids are, things like that, which not nice, but here we are. In fact, they would chase me around with lizards. It was so bad. They would chase me around with lizards, to throw lizards at me. I grew up in Puerto Rico, so I guess it was a thing back then, you know. But it could have been like you were picked on, or you were oppressed, or you kept your silence, things like that. And they had this like, oh, remember when, or remember me. They had this confidence that they can come forward to you and utilize like your past. Like, or remember when we lived on this neighborhood, and you're like, bitch, I do. And by the way, those memories are not good. Let's not play any longer. I'm not the quiet child that used to chase with lizards. I know nobody else had this experience, I'm sure. But anyways, I digress. So taking the spirit that it was meant, okay? I feel like you can no longer be manipulated. People can't play with the remember me or remember my role in your life or remember, you know, when we used to go out and we used to do these things, and I'm like, yeah, but what's most important is remember when you disappeared. Remember when you didn't give me insight as to what's really going on. Remember when you try to blackmail, that might be some, you know, something for someone out there. Or even remember when you used to gaslight me, okay? So I feel like these people, you could be heavily upon their mind right now. And for whatever reason, they're reminiscing. They're trying to create like this full circle, almost like I feel like they want to come back. They want to full circle you. I'm just seeing an airplane actually in the clear blue sky. It is so beautiful here. It is phenomenal. I feel so lucky, by the way. And so I feel like people could want to like come towards you, fly towards you. This could be people at distance and so on and so forth, right? So pile number one. What do they realize about you now? Oh my gosh, yeah. That you've made your choice, that you are no longer trying to kind of like, well, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Maybe perhaps, maybe you were, quote, guilty, air quotes right now. Uh-oh, busting out with the air quotes, you guys. Maybe you were guilty of trying to really take responsibility where there was none, right? Where it's not yours to take, where you were accepting liability is what I'm hearing as well, for no reason whatsoever. And people are realizing that you're not about that life, you're not about that person no more. Any longer, I should say. Maybe you have beautiful ruddy cheeks, or maybe somebody suffers from rosacea. Listen, that happened to me for quite a while. I don't even know how I got it to go away, but here we are. So, I'm hearing also that people are really understanding that you no longer, yeah, with the blushing coming through, you no longer react to their maneuverings, their strategic maneuverings is what I'm hearing, the way that you used to, and that they have to throw the whole damn playbook away, okay? Moving on. Pile number one, the Suit of Swords. Yeah, look, the Four of Swords, you know, combined with the Four right here. And the Four of Swords talks to me about healing. And so you've had to do a lot of healing. And I feel like what people, let's get in here. Look, I'm clutching the covers, clutching my pearls, clutching all the things, because all the things that used to really cause you anxiety, leave you in a stasis. I can't make a move. I can't maneuver. I can't progress. I can't move forward. All of those negative thinkings and all of those things that have been projected and all those mannerisms, I feel like those are gone. Okay. And what people are realizing about you is that maybe perhaps once you were in stasis and you could not like really make a decision, things like that, with the Four of Suits right here, the Four of Swords, sorry, you're the one that you are healing. You are healing. And I hear, oh my gosh, I literally said hearing in my head. And so maybe they are hearing you some way, somehow, but also that you are healing. Okay. And what they think about you right now is that you're somebody not to contend with, that you're out of the Three of Swords, that like the pain you've been able to work through, you've been able to maneuver, you've been able to, and I'm seeing somebody with like kind of like a steam pot and letting off steam just little bits at a time until it's safe to open that up like a pressure cooker and so on, right? But that you've been able to really, yeah, release valve, and that because people are used to like trigger you and maneuver you and strategize against you, that those hot buttons are no longer working. Okay, that's what they're realizing, is that you're totally, I'm hearing for somebody born again. Doesn't have to be like born again Christian, but you're a whole new creature. Okay. And if you are, kudos to you. That's your thing. Okay, I'm not going to weigh in on that one way or another. Pile number one. If you're liking these kind of readings, please do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Like my video, hype my video. I always forget that. Anyways, moving on. Judgment. Listen, you formed a judgment against all of this. You formed a judgment against the things that you had to heal. And you have been able to process that. And I feel like it has taken you many a dark night of the soul in order to come through. And you are seeing the light of day. And not only that, but you are leading the way to see the light of day. And also I'm hearing actually and seeing in my mind's eye that you're illuminating things for what they really are. And I feel like this pile number one can be very intimidating for those around you or those that are actually thinking about you, because the topic is, what do they think about you right now, right? And then the Suit of Swords. Yep, look, let's get in here. The Suit of Swords tells me there's a lot of thought process. And what they think about you now is that you will jump into this canoe, I don't even know what this is. Okay, it could be a kayak for all I know, but it's like a canoe, it's a thing. And you are willing to take your suit of swords with you, the 6 that you have. And those are your experiences. And those are, from the beginning, from you got clarity to, I'm going to, 2 of swords, it's taking me through the suit of swords all the way to the 6. 2 of swords is a stalemate. 3 of swords is a the betrayals. And then the 4 of swords is like, how do I heal from this? Let me just kind of pause and think. Let me just give myself some time. The 5 of swords is like, you know what? I've been deceived, or I've deceived myself. I've done that. Have you? Once or twice or thrice? So pile number 1, I definitely feel like they've seen you grow through all of the suits, that you have maybe processed this intellectually versus through your heart chakra, and that you will each and every time now choose you, that you are no longer in this energy of like oscillation. Let me kind of think about this. Let me think about what transpired here. And a lot of also like your heart chakra awakening, I feel, and they don't know what that means for them. What they realize about you now is that they put you under a lot of BS, okay, a lot of boosh right here going on, and I don't really know what that is. I guess we can get a little bit of glimpse into what that is. Bottom of the deck is a Devil card. Listen, so maybe perhaps you had some kind of obsession, or they put you in this energy where you had to, let's get closer, obsess for one reason or another. We have temptation, addiction, codependency, abuse, overcoming temptation, freedom, facing your fear, and finding balance. Yeah, you have found balance, friend. And so what they understand about you currently and what they think about you currently is that you're no longer going to be put into a place like that, but because you have radically grown. And the person that you are today, you are no longer the person that you were way back when they knew you, or when they were able to pull your strings like a puppet, okay? Pile number 1. What? Yeah, listen. What they realize about you now is that it is no holds bar. It is balls to the wall. Can I say that? It is, you are bringing clarity, and you may not have the complete picture, but you have enough of the picture, and you are supported by spirit. I see this as almost like angelic qualities giving you the answers that you need in order to know how to fight back. Like, you don't necessarily have to plan anything. If people come for you, they will find you, and they will find harsh communication. They'll find truth in your communication, and with precision. Okay. So, yeah, I feel like people now are really incredibly intimidated by you. I will say that. Let me know what you guys think about this short reading, air quotes, activated. That's what I have. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.
Okay.
Hi, friends. My name is Griselle with Untitled Chapter, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 2. What do they think about you now? Well, I definitely feel like you are evolving, you are changing, and people don't really recognize who you are any longer. So if this sounds like you, or if this sounds intriguing, go ahead and join me for your reading. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful or encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, my babies, I am so excited. Thank you so much for your love, your support, your encouragement. All the things, right? So pile number 2, what do they think about you now? So let's get a little bit of information. You have the 3 of Wands. You have the Fool. And you have the 10 of Wands. What? This is the most creative 10 of Wands I've ever seen. So, pile number 2, first of all, I definitely feel like what they realize about you now is that you waited for a long time. You waited for a long time. You want to take a risk, and you waited. The 3 of Wands is waiting for ships to come in order to release these burdens. It's like you felt incredibly burdened. Maybe, perhaps, for me, the 10 of Wands is always about having responsibilities that do not belong to you, friend. So it could be that we signed emotional contracts or agreements or things that have been like inherited, right? Passed down from one generation to the next. In other words, like, well, I took care of my parents. Well, you got to take care of your parents. And well, I raised my siblings. My parents were working, and therefore you get to raise your siblings, or you need to, you know, whatever. And I feel like a lot of this part of the journey for you has been a great challenge, because you essentially had to disassemble everything that you had accepted as law, okay? And now you're creating your own life. And it was a big leap of faith, okay, in order for you to take this journey, undertake this journey, in order to really wait for your ships to come in. I feel like a lot of you guys could, maybe some of you guys are still in this energy, to be honest, but what they realize is that maybe perhaps you are waiting, that you had to wait and be very, very patient for your ships to come in, and that this did not happen overnight, that this was a process, right? That you essentially were looking not only for ships to come in, but you were waiting for your star to shine. You were following your north node, and you didn't really know what that looked like, okay? Because you were burdened. And all of these burdens, they're not just physical, friend. They're not just like, let me take care of this, let me take care of that, and being stretched and exhausted and depleted of energy. This is mental, emotional stress. This is things that other people could have done for themselves, or they could have been redelegated to somebody else, or, you know, whatever. But regardless of what this is, it was not your burden, never was to begin with, in order to really progress. And what they're realizing about you is that this is how you were able, or are able, to really unburden yourself, how to throw off that yoke. And what I'm picturing in my mind's eye, for those of you guys probably know, if you've been on my channel for any length of time, I'm from Puerto Rico, and all of a sudden I'm seeing these big, I don't know what they're really called, but they're bulls, right? Big, huge, like horns, and they're coming down this hill towards the house, right? That's the way the road was, like this. Anyways, and whoever had them, they would take like a small stick or a whip or whatever, and they would just tap them to get them to kind of move accordingly in order to go down. And they would go to different fields in order to kind of plow that field, that kind of a thing. And so I'm getting that. It was like you were kind of hemmed in, and you weren't necessarily like in a headlock, although unfortunately, these bulls did have like this wooden thing that would kind of lock, and they would have to work together, move together, things like that. But once in a while, they would kind of unshackle them, if you will, and they would let them individually move, but they would move in unison. And I feel like that the story to that is that you had to get all of your ducks in a row. You had to get your mental, emotional strength in order to maneuver and navigate in a physical world, in the 3D world, in order to manifest things in the way that you see fit, in order that you are able to navigate a life that is actually good for you and healthy for you and balanced, okay? Whew, because once upon a time, it felt like it was such a burden that you could not even see your feet, okay? It was like, I'm going to put one foot in front of the other, in front of the other. And friend, I too have felt that way, so I feel for you. But that's what people are realizing. You did not have it easy. You had to take major leaps of faith where there was no light. There were no stars even to illuminate your path. There were no even like, I'm getting like the Cancer card, the moon, right? With the moon, where you have the dog and the wolf, and it's like it's illuminated, but everything's ambiguous and vague, and you're not really sure. You didn't even have that to go by. You just had like a wish and a prayer and a song and a dance, if at all possible. So keeping it pushing. Here we go. What they think about you now? That you're resilient. Yeah. That you have ended major things. That you have you know what? That you're able to point out things that you need to end, and have done so, by the way. And if people have run from this, that they're like, well, it's not my responsibility that you had, you know, well, you are the oldest one in the family, and you're supposed to take care of all of your siblings, and you're supposed to adopt a little bit of a mom role or dad role or whatever. And they wanted to run from this responsibility of like, well, they would kind of kick up their feet and not help, not pitch in, whatever. And this could be mental, spiritual, emotional. But you have a lot of people here that are a little bit like running for their lives because they know that an ending is coming, or the way that things have gone, an ending has come, okay? Or it already transpired with the number 555. 3 different endings. It could have been 3 major chapters of your life. I'm hearing a marriage. I'm also hearing a friendship, a best friendship, a frenemy-ship. I don't know, right? But I feel like a lot of you guys even moved to new land, and you have left like your origin of birth, is that how you say it, behind. Moving on. What are the they think about you now? The 10 of Cups. Yeah, that you are not only resilient, that you are clever, that you're willing to bid your time in order to really make the right moves. And even maybe this was instinct. They don't even know if this was like planned, strategic, or a combination thereof, but they highly underestimated you. With the 10 of Cups right here, this is about emotional reciprocity. I always have to slow it down because I'm gonna mess up how I pronounce that. So interesting though, because stumbling over that word, it's like reciprocal energy. It's like they understand right now what they think about you is that you do have reciprocal energy in your life, and that if it's not reciprocal, you're going to end it. Put an end. You're like, oh, the end. Okay. And then you could be that person. Oh my gosh. And I met somebody, and 3 days later, the end. They had no reciprocal energy. They showed all the red flags or whatever. Right. But you're quick to draw. You're quick on the draw is what I'm hearing. And you make people run for the hills, run for their lives, because you are truth. I feel like you have this word truth in your mouth. Moving on. Pile number 2, the Hanged Man. What? It is in the reverse, of course. And I definitely feel like, yeah, we dare you to look at the world from this point of view, the Hanged Man. And with the reverse, I feel like you have looked at it from a whole different point of view that nobody else was able to look at it from, or willing, I should say. And it is shooketh people. Okay. So how people are viewing you right now, how they're viewing you right now is from a place of, look, I made decisions based on my understanding. And I feel like you could be very, very spiritual. I feel like you're on my channel. And those of you guys that are on my channel, you are very spiritual, and you need a little bit of levity because things have been really, really oppressive or rough, or, you know, and if you're curious, not that anyone else, that's why I tend to do topics like this. So you can combine a little bit of like this with a little bit of levity, and hopefully we can laugh a little bit, but I don't know. Oh goodness. So I'm also hearing a little bit of swag, get to kiss, and a little bit. And yeah, if you know that song, you know, but what they think about you right now is that you're not going to do anything unless it brings you pleasure. Yeah, I said it. Unless it brings you joy, unless it is balance. And you definitely have a different perspective. And the perspective that you have, it's like when you remove that cube, that Lego piece, that chunk of the puzzle, whatever you want to call it, out of your history, and you regrouped and decided to set that chunk of the puzzle forward in a different manner, you're like, I'm going to use this as a launching point, and I'm going to see where I need to go and what I need to cut off and what I need to do. I think it sent people running from the hills, but also it's having people question, well, what have I known my whole life? How, like, I don't understand what's going on, that kind of a thing. It could have sent people into a frenzy. Yes, running for the hills. And from pile number 2, I'm just going to tell you that you have actually, unbeknownst to you, I feel like Spirit utilized all of this, if this is really your pile, in order to really launch and ignite other people into their own ascension. Meaning they have to face their own shadow sides, they have to face their own truths, they have to run towards instead of away the things that they've avoided their entire lives in order to really obtain truths, in order to really grow up, glow up, and show up for themselves as well, just the way you did, okay? In the end, you still inadvertently carry like a metaphorical burden of teaching the world in some way, shape, and form. And to clarify, I don't feel like it's a burden anymore. It's, I'm hearing it's awkward, it's different, it's light, but not. The number 10 on camera right now, it gives you joy in order to be able to teach other people what you have learned. Yeah, let's move it. Keep it pushing. What do they think about you right now? Pile number 2, if you are indeed enjoying these kind of readings, enjoying this, please do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you can hype my video, yay, that would be awesome too. So, pile number 2, what do they think about you right now? The 9 of Swords. Wow. Well, I definitely feel like you have a dream and that you're following your, they think about, this is anxiety card, right? They think that you are following your dream, that maybe even you get dreams about them, but really about following your North Node, about even uncovering, discovering, and Rubik's cubing this reality into what it is that you want. And they're like, well, where do I fit in? Can I get in? Where I fit in? Where do I fit in? I don't get it. And this narrative has changed and I don't really understand. How come they can't just really stick to the way that things were when they were and when I was more comfortable? I'm talking about them, right? But that life has changed. I feel like you've entered different timeline, dimension hopping, dimension jumping, whatever it is that you call it. You are actually unfold. I'm seeing somebody knit. So maybe you're knitting, or you're knitting your own reality. And like the more that you knit, you don't necessarily have like an idea as far as the pattern goes, but each path is like you knit a whole step right before you have to take it, and it unfolds for you, and you're trusting the process. I don't feel like, I feel like your process is stressing people out. Okay. What they're realizing about you right now is, you know what, why are they stressed? Let's ask that. Well, they're stressed because they had an agenda, because you're not towing the line, because you're not acting in compliance any longer, because you're, quote, acting, air quotes again, activated out of character. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Listen, pile number 2, the 10 of Cups. So how do people see you right now is that maybe perhaps you've adopted like a whole new family. You've created a family. Maybe you withdrew from like the, 3-degree family into like the nucleus. And all you have is like, you and your, whatever your body created, your spouse, your children, whatever, right? But with the 10 of Cups right here is, I feel like people see you as having a lot of emotional fulfillment. 10 of Cups clarified by the 10 of Cups. That's what I thought. It's like double trouble with you. Pile number 2. People think that you're divinely supported. You are supported in deed and word and like encouragement, like things that give you emotional reciprocal energy. There's no other way that I can even say that. And that even though people might not really understand your dream or how you're headed or where you're headed, or maybe even I hear somebody say, well, I don't even understand. I'm like, listen, I feel that. Pile number 2. But regardless, that you are headed in the right direction for you, for your spiritual development. And it says this is the end and the beginning. Yeah. And it's full circle. Yeah. They want to get full circle, maybe coming from pile number 1, but this is not that. And also, how they're seeing you right now is that whatever it is that you really wish for emotionally, it's like you have this ability to make it happen. You have, let's get in here, this ability to have these dreams come true. And also that you are somebody who is there and stable and emotionally giving to other people as long as they reciprocate. Now, let's clarify that. It's like they cannot deplete you is my point. If you have anybody step into you the same way that these scallywags did, you're gonna be like, next. You're gonna be like me with a deli counter now serving 999. Oh, you're not here. 990,009. I don't know. I'm just making it up as I go along, but you get the point. You are going to keep it moving. And if chunks of time are missing, if people don't give you like the clarity that you need, the elbow grease that you need, I don't feel like you're high maintenance, but it's equanimity is what I keep hearing in my head. If there's not that around you and reciprocal energy, that's a hard no for me, dog. That's what I heard. So that's what I have for you. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, that you're hardcore, you're hard to get, and that you are a dream fulfilled for other people as well. Just not the people that want to take from you and knock it back. Yeah, good for you. That's what I have. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.
Okay.
Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Untitled Chapter, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3, what do they think about thee right now? Well, let me tell you, you have a lot of looky-loos people paying attention, even people that don't want to pay attention or paying attention to you. So I'm pretty fascinated so far. If you are too, join me for your reading in 3, 2, 1. Hi friends. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that's helpful or encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, my babies, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for encouraging me. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a challenging year. I'll be glad when this year's gone, just to be real. But here we are. So pile number 3. One thing I want to say that during the shuffle, because I'm not really sure if I'll remember it during the shuffle part in the music and when I put it all together, I kept hearing, nice boys, don't play rock and roll. Nice boys, don't play rock and roll. I'm not a nice boy, and I never was. So, and then of course we had this card flip out. So let's start there. Okay, what do they realize about you now? Pile number 3, 7 of Swords right here, is listen, you're going to respect me. maybe throat chakra clearing here. Maybe perhaps they're realizing that during the time that they knew you or thought they knew you, or they rubbed elbows with you, this could be coworkers, this could be friends, it doesn't make a difference, anybody. They thought that you didn't speak your truth. And now you have the 7 of Swords right here. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to make my moves. I'm connected. I'm divinely connected. And just because you think I don't know something doesn't mean I don't know. But part of the strategy they're starting to realize is that you don't tip your hand. Like, who plays poker, especially like in the big leagues? Not that I would know anything about poker. But who plays poker and then tips their hand like, or smiles and they're like, oh, I got a really good hand, or I got, no, they're like putting sunglasses on and they, they're like trying to have their best poker face on. And I feel like that's you. It's like, there's no smile, there's no flinching, that everything is tailored. There's no, and maybe, it could be that they show like a microscopic little frown just to pretend or to fake believe that they don't have a good hand or something. But regardless, people don't really know what you know. And it's disturbing. That's what I hear. So pile number 3. I feel like this is my pile. Is this my pile? Oh my gosh, this is my pile. Look, we have the High Priestess. Okay, so what people are realizing about thee is that you are incredibly in tune, that you get so many downloads that, and you're sitting pretty, like you're not even worried about things. Now, let me just, one moment, please. One moment, please. While I disrupt the whole set here for this. We're going to read this real quick. So divine knowledge, mystery, wisdom, prophecy, subconscious, the need for approval, codependency, and bipolar disorder. So that would be on the reversal of this, right? And so what people are realizing right now is that you are sitting pretty, that you really know, again, I feel like this has to do with a knowledge of secrets, and that you're like, oh yeah, you want to pull a rabbit out of your hat? Where's this coming from? I'm like, I'm going to pull a horse out of my hat. What's up with that? But regardless, it's like you have seen people maneuver and navigate, and therefore you realize that you've had to maneuver and navigate yourself. Now, I'm not a fan of like strategy playing for life. I'm more heart-based, and I'm just kind of like, you know what you see is what you get. It's a lot more simple for me to navigate life this way. And if it does work out great for me, great. And if it does not, then I know not to do it again. But I don't like the pretense and the BS. That's just me. But I feel like you got something up your sleeve. What people are realizing is that you are fierce. You're a fierce contender. And you know what? With the 2 of Swords right here, I'm like, whack, whack, whack. With the 2 of Swords right here, this is like a stalemate, 2 of Swords, right? Even though this is 7 right here. And it's like you're going to allow things to remain in a stasis, or for people, or you're going to make it appear like you're not making a choice, making an option, or making a move right before you do. You're like, but I did. Chess, checkmate, bitches. So I feel like a lot of you guys, what people are realizing right now is that you have like a rabbit up your sleeve. Why is that? Are you like into the, I love rabbits. I don't know why. But the whole with Neo and the white rabbit, follow the white rabbit, and this could have to do with timeline jumping. This could have to do with like things revealed or secrets revealed, or you're in tune with that big all moon in the background. It's like, things have been revealed, even though people want to keep you in a stalemate. And with that stalemate, you're like, I'll just cut you with this. Listen, metaphorically, of course, respectfully, please. Moving on. Pile number 3. You guys could be a little bit feisty. Oh, the 9 of Pentacles. Look, she's not holding her hand. She's not showing her hand is what I meant to say. So she's not holding, hello, Grisel, showing her hand. I can say this for real. I can. So with the 9 of Pentacles, this tells me that you have really done a lot by yourself and for yourself. And maybe perhaps even, like, you're a great mystery. People don't really understand how you make your money, what you consider abundance, because they're in the dark about things. But it's like things grow. And whatever it is that your hand is touching, things grow. You will, you'll guard it fiercely. I almost said fiercely. But yeah, you're making moves silently, and it's working out for you. And it seems to be a little bit of like a smug smirk on your face. And I think that people have really underestimated you, and you've quite enjoyed the ride. Let me just say it that way. So, or at least that's a perception. So it could be that maybe they just think that you're like game playing, or think that you, I don't know, something about like you're just kind of like enjoying the process. And I mean, we have to live our lives no matter what. We're always going to have like good, bad, and ugly. And it's going to be kind of a cycle, or, you know, there are always going to be unpleasant things to deal with. And it's like, how are we going to deal with it? Are we going to be like true to ourselves? Are we going to give ourselves over and jump into the fray and go, well, whatever happens, happens, and, you know, and die on a sword? In other words, I think not. Nay, nay. Pile number 3. I definitely feel like there's a lot of feistiness in you. And even if you don't think that you have everything cohesively or like strategically, people think that you do. People think that you know. And people could even think that you know more than you know. You know? Wink, wink. Moving on. Yeah, I want to address her dress. Let's use the official pointer. The official for the, I don't know, however it's beneficial. Her dress, you guys, looks like a cat. The black cat to me. And that's a nod to the Queen of Wands. And I definitely feel like, you know, the Queen to me is higher than the Nine of Pentacles. But the Queen of Wands is all about being fiery. And maybe you are keeping like all of this fire, all of this knowledge, and you're ready to launch it out. But also with the cat, it's almost like you're in tune. And the black cat is mysterious. They make moves. They're mastered by none. They don't listen to dogma. They're in touch. It's very like otherworldly. It's I'm in touch with the other world, and I bring back what I need, and I get the information. I bring back what I need. And also, cats are not like very big, right? Even like panthers, if you look at the great scope of it, I'm seeing like these little toe beans, right? And so it could be that you're like, oh, I just inched this way and wow, I'm getting a feeling of this. And it's like you're downloading and processing all that. And people can actually see this, but they don't really understand what you're downloading, how you're navigating, or how you do it. And so I feel like, I don't know. Yeah, like people want to come towards you. Okay, if you have 7 of Swords right here, and then you have 2 that are evident, that are obvious, like the stalemate situation that people perceive, but that you're like facing it head on. You're like, oh, wow, here we go. What's going on? And there are 5 remaining, and people are like, well, you know, I got a little betrayal behind my sleeve or whatever. People can think that you have a betrayal up your sleeve, or people can think, well, that you're going to deliver the same way that you received. I don't feel like that's necessarily true, because what the High Priestess, I feel like, listen, you you answer to a higher order, and I meant law and order, and so that naturally became Lancer in nobody's mind but mine. So you answer to a higher authority, and I feel like your means of maybe being quiet or not being extrovert about things is maybe because you have a lot of battles. You have dealt with a lot of people that are deceivers, that did nothing but take or put you in like a bad situation. And then you're kind of like, well, you know, I don't know how it's going to unfold, but I'm going to follow my natural sequence of events. And in other words, it seems like it's very put together and tidy, although it may not be, okay? Because you're going by your intuition and you're trusting your intuition. Something about the number 2. February, you could have been born in February, or February could be like, I'm hearing a major launching date for you guys, or February could be an important date for you. That could coincide with your sign. I don't know. Here we go. What do they realize about you? The Suit of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, that you're able, and usually the suit is like the 2 of Pentacles is juggling. Let me juggle. And it could be. And it could appear a little bit chaotic, but in that juggling, you're incredibly talented. There's a reason why a lot of us like to go to a Renaissance fair, right? And I get the Ren fair with all the people that are actually juggling and doing this and that and whatnot. And it's all very cutting edge and very different. And I prefer the fire juggling personally. But, you know, it seems like very, like, yes, entertaining, very skilled. But also, it's like, I'm hearing you're on a landmine. So it could be like anything could explode at any point in time. But this skeleton is like navigating, presumably being on a ship or some kind of balcony. And, I'm hearing the winds of change. You hear, you know, like Monsters Inc. Maybe some of you guys are a fan of Monsters Inc. I love that movie. It's like, do you hear that? The winds of change or something like that. Barely paraphrase, but you're able to navigate and appear peaceful, even though everything is like incredibly tumultuous around you. And that's what people think about you now. Maybe it's like they can see the turmoil you are going you're under, or you are facing, or that you face turbulence with like a calm and precision. And even though maybe, again, you don't necessarily have all the answers, you're like, I'm going to juggle here. This gives me the energy of like the Titanic when it was going down. The whole orchestra went to play some music to kind of calm and to honor and to do all that stuff. And it's almost like you have that internally. It's like a barometer that you know that some way, somehow it's going to be okay. And people are like, but we're shipwrecked, but the ship's going down. But I don't understand. Are you not like freaking the F out? And it's like, well, maybe, but you're listening to, you know, your higher self, and your pillar is something that people cannot see. And that's why they're perplexed. Moving on. What do they think about you right now? Yeah, that you're divinely ordained. The pseudosword, that was reversed. You've seen it here, friends. I smacked my cards. You're no longer in your head about things. And look at the faces as I zoom in here with my special zooming tool. Yeah. But look, it's like, oh, you think you got it? And it's like, oh, well, I mean, that would scare the tar out of anyone, and so on. But the truth of the matter is that perhaps people thought that this would get you caught up in your, I heard eyeball, up to your eyeballs in like a mess, or up into your eyeballs in like, oh my gosh, you can't make a move, I don't know. And then you're released like mentally. So somehow, some way, they're privy to the fact, and this now is giving me Medusa vibes, the second one. So, and then, you know, Medusa was like wronged, right? And there's a lot of different like folklores and tales, or whatever you want to say it, about how things happened and whatnot. But in the end, Medusa was incredibly beautiful. Is it folklore would have it? I don't know. But she was falsely accused by somebody who was jealous, and the yeah. Oh my gosh, Crystal, thank you. Like somebody in the priestess order, right? She was like serving, and then she got accused because she was more beautiful than the higher person. I don't think it was Athena, but I don't know my stories very well. Anyways, she got accused, and she got taken advantage of, for lack of a better way of putting it. And then lo and behold, she became Medusa. So if any man were to look at her, or I think anyone, they would actually immediately turn to stone. And that's because she was defiled and she had undergone a lot of different things. So I don't know, something in that story could be true for you, okay? People are seeing you as like, yeah, like you have this ability to kind of turn things around, like maybe in a lot of ways, maybe in this situation, or maybe people that are looking at you right now have an idea of your history, or have seen you be defiled, or have seen like Five of Swords up against you, and have seen you like overcome or circumvent or sidestep or pivot, or even get into the fray, right? Even if you're on this ship that is going down, and you're like, well, I guess we're juggling, because what else am I going to do? Eventually, all of us are going to hit the water, and there could be an undertow when I hit the water, right? Because of the weight of the ship, and all of the things that happen. Anyways, moving on. So what do they think about you right now? What do they think? Nine of Cups, that you're going after your dream, your desire. Yeah, and it's like, look, you're no longer in that mental place where, or in a mental space where you are like hook, line, and sinker in your head. And now it's like, you know what, I'm just going to kind of marinate. You might be marinating within what's on your mind, or like, how do I attain my ninth cup? Like this level of optimism, and you looking at potentially a falling star or a comet. I don't know what that is. Yeah, because I'm a reader, not a astronomer. Just kidding. So maybe you have like a lot of sass to you, and you're kind of like, and people are thinking, what the hell? Like, you've got a lot of sass for somebody that's going to go down with the Titanic. And that's, you know, what they're thinking right now. But right now, it's kind of like you're kind of ruminating. I'm hearing in your own mind, or at the possibilities, and you're focusing on your ninth cup. Now, let's see what this is, because it came up sideways. Suit of Swords, Alarm, the Tale of Doom, and Tradition. In the tradition. Yeah, the 10 of Swords here. So people could be seeing you right now is like, oh my gosh, it's ending, and oh no, I'm fine. It's ending and fine. And also, people could be seeing that maybe you have a lot of betrayers, which goes with this card, with a lot of people wanting to gun for you, coming for you. That's interesting, right? And I don't think that this is like news to you, by the way. With this High Priestess, you've known that. Look, and the stalemate's over. Yeah. The Two of Swords, it's like, well, I no longer have to ruminate, think about it. I'm going to use the swords in my defense, and I'm going to keep it pushing. And you know what? The Suit of Swords, it's kind of like, you can have people kind of like, I feel like they're kind of rooting for you, but then they're like, oh, the heck with you. You know what? You have people kind of conflicted, and I'm conflicted. What is this? Why is this Ten of Swords sideways? It's like, maybe people that were once against you are rooting for you, and then the vice versa is true. Look, the Ace of Cups, yeah. So I feel like people have caught feelings for you. Interesting. And listen, actually, this happened. Oh my gosh, I have to show you this. Friend, look. Don't judge me, but this is where I keep like my jewelry, and whatever it is I'm gonna like do in the moment, if I'm not done with it, I throw it in this cup. And this is also the cup of my evil eye. Okay, so when I was getting ready for my reading, I was like, I need my cup. So I went and I got my cup from the cup cupboard. Try saying that 5 times. And the cup literally jumped down because it sits higher than my head. Jumped down, and I thought it was going to crash, but I caught it. And I thought, that's weird. I caught the evil eye. So you could have, you could be like privy to a lot of people that are giving you the evil eye right now, because this cup tells me it doesn't simulate or resemble this one quite a bit. And I feel like what you don't understand right now, or what people don't even want to fess up to, is the Ace of Cups is that they have like a fondness for you, a love for you. So maybe perhaps it's like these people are gunning for you, and then now they're like hiddenly, that's not even a word, you're welcome, but they're hiddenly, they are, gosh, secretly, Griselle, use your words. I can do this. I can do this. Pile number 3. They're secretly rooting for you because they have some kind of a love, because Ace of Cups is like a genuine affection, a genuine like love, this mental, emotional, spiritual. So I feel like maybe you could have converted some haters here some way, somehow. I don't know, but it's thick, it's heavy. And with that, I'm going to let you go. Let me know how this resonated. Also, don't forget to like my video, hype my video, and all the things. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.